managerial and administrative types.
Yeah, it's like you are describing my soul here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's a tension. There's this weird tension between doing one thing right, which is what you need to do if you've already decided what it is that you're doing, and scanning the landscape for something new to do that would be worthwhile. Those aren't the same enterprises. And so most companies are an uneasy marriage of entrepreneurial and managerial types. As the company gets more and more established, the managerial and administrative types tend to dominate. But then that becomes problematic because it means it's more and more difficult for the company to shift laterally when it has to, which is, again, I think why so many companies eventually fail.
Because they lose the creative head, is that what you mean?
Sure, they lose the flexibility.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they're trying to maximize their ability to implement, but it's very difficult to do that without also simultaneously bearing the cost of narrowing. Right?
Yeah.
So the thing is if you know what you're doing, you want to hire a conservative. If you don't know what you're doing, you want to hire a liberal.
Right.
Right. So that's a way of thinking about it temperamentally. It's also a way of parsing out the political landscape to understand, at least in part, why you need conservatives and liberals.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I find a business is like a family. And in the past, in my company, I've had all under 25-year-old male entrepreneurs. Why did we hire them? Because that's what we were like.
Right.
And I've found entrepreneurs tend to hire versions of themselves at first, instead of being more self-aware to go, actually, I'm chaotic, disruptive. What I need is order and, like you said, good administrative skills, conscientiousness. So you go through that chaos of hiring people too much like you and having like too much male energy or too much creative energy. Then you maybe react and hire a lot of administration and conscientiousness, and then you maybe lose the soul in your company. And then the creative's trying to drag the company forward. Feels like he's getting held back by everybody.
Well, and it is. It is. But the funny thing,
it's needed to hold him back, but they've got to let him go as well, or her, haven't they? Otherwise,
that's the problem. The fundamental problem is most new ideas are stupid, dangerous, and counterproductive.
And they're the ones that change the world.
well, they are sometimes. They are sometimes, but there's a subset of new ideas that, even though new ideas are dangerous and disruptive and often counterproductive and generally don't result in a productive company, some of them are absolutely necessary, and they're the thing you need to do next. And so, and that's a very difficult problem to solve, because it's the fundamental problem of innovation. It's like most innovations aren't justified or warranted, but some of them are absolutely crucial. So how do you distinguish between them? And the answer is, well, we don't know. The part of the way that you do that in a dynamic economy is you let and encourage a whole host of entrepreneurs to produce their ideas, and you let almost all of them fail, which is kind of painful for the entrepreneurs.
But limited company and all those kind of structures are set up to make that more safe, aren't they?
Right. Yeah. Well, those are. This is something that's massively underappreciated.
It is.
I would say, on the liberal left end of the political spectrum, is people just don't understand how absolutely revolutionary the idea of a limited company is. Because what a limited company allows is, a limited company allows your idea to die instead of you. And that's a big deal.
Otherwise no one would take the risk, would they, of creating anything?
Well, that's right. No one could bear the risk. Because if you failed, it would wipe you out permanently. It's like, well, who the hell's going to take that risk? And so the fact that the limited liability is one of the unbelievable tech. I can't believe that we
That's
ever
like an innovation that we all just forget about, isn't it?
And it's such a merciful innovation. It's like, you mean I get to fail and no one's going to kill me? No one's going to throw me in debtor's prison. It's not going to hang around my neck for the rest of my life. I can actually take a risk. So because the other thing you see often with entrepreneurs is that they fail a lot before they succeed. And so, I mean, you have to be pretty damn spectacularly lucky to have your first idea, when you don't know what the hell you're doing, be a spectacular success.
Or maybe it's a good idea, but you weren't ready, and you're more ready.
Or the marketplace isn't ready. Or, I mean, that's the other thing that people don't really understand, is because if you're a naive entrepreneur, you think, well, all I have to do is make a great product. It's like, no, that's about 5% of
Yeah.
it. You know, and that shocked the hell out of me when I started building software, for example, because we assumed that we developed software to help people select better employees, and we never could sell it except in very rare circumstances. But we assumed that if we had a product that was validated, we could show that it had the effects that we wanted, and that it was more efficient than other products in the marketplace, that selling it would be easy. It's like, well, that's just so wrong.
I love
Selling
it.
and